Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. SSET Englishtown.
Hi and welcome to another video for SSET. Today we are doing 2A. It is our Monday, Wednesday, Friday 4 p.m. class, and today we are doing reading. Now today we are doing a special review class for our reading of Frog and Toad. So make sure you have your book. First we are going to do some vocab. So I hope you've studied your vocab. Alright, are you ready to go? If you are ready at home, just grab a piece of paper so you can write your words. No cheating. Alright, here we go. Frog and Toad. Let's do some vocab. Alright, first the page, okay? Just on page 53. The vocab on page 53. Okay. Alright, number one. What do you call a small road that you walk on? You usually find it in a mountain or in a forest or in the woods. A small road that you walk on. Small road you walk on. Number one. All right, number two. Everyone okay? Number two. What is the sound that comes from your mouth when you talk or sing? La. What is the sound that comes from your mouth when you talk or sing? That was number two. All right, number three. What is another word for a blanket? Another word for a blanket. Number three, another word for a blanket. Number four. What is a big field with a lot of grass and no trees and no buildings? Number four, a big field with a lot of grass, no trees, no buildings. Number four. Number five, what is a piece of paper that has the date, the year, the month, and the day on it called? What is that called? Number five. Usually a piece of paper that has the day, the date, the month, and the year. All right, be careful of your spelling. Number six. What is another word for maybe? Maybe I will have chicken tomorrow for dinner. Maybe I will have chicken. Maybe I will have chicken for dinner. Number six. All right, let's move on to number seven. What is two words that you can say to go to sleep? 2 words. To go to sleep. Number seven. To go to sleep. 2 words. Good. All right, number 8. What is the word that you can say when you are a little bit scared or nervous about something? A word you can say if you are a little bit scared or nervous about something. Number 8. Oh, I have a test coming up. I'm a little bit, starts with, I'm a little bit. I have a test coming up. I'm a little bit scared or nervous. Number 8. All right, number 9. What is the opposite of thick? Opposite of thick. All right, last one, number 10. What is a box called where you keep thread and needles and scissors for sewing? What is that box called? 2 words. A something box. Number 10. A something box where you keep needles, thread, scissors for sewing. All right, let's go over number 8 again. Number 8. If you are a little bit scared or nervous about something, Oh, I have a test tomorrow. I'm a little bit blah, 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 blah. All right, change please. Change if you're at home. No cheating. Mark your exam please. Red pen, blue pen, white pen, yellow pen, it doesn't matter. All right, number 1. What is a small road that you walk on? Path, good. Path. Number 2. The sound that comes from your mouth when you talk or sing. Voice, good. Voice, your voice. Number 3. Another word for a blanket. Cover, good. A cover. Cover yourself with a blanket. Cover yourself if you are cold. Number 4. What is a large green field with grass, no trees, no buildings? Meadow. How do you spell?
But S is okay.
Yes, meadows is okay.
MEADOWS.
Crazy eyes. Yes, MEADOWS. Meadows, plural, meadows. Number 5. What is a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard with the day, month, date, year, calendar? How do you spell calendar? C-A-L-E-N-D-A-R. Ends A-R. Calendar, number 5. Number 6. Another word for maybe.
Perhaps.
Yes, maybe I will have chicken for dinner tomorrow. Perhaps I will have chicken for dinner tomorrow. I think I will. To go to sleep. This is 2 words. Number 7. To go to sleep. Fall asleep or fell asleep. Yes. Fall asleep or fell asleep. Past tense. Fell asleep. Correct. Which one? It can be E-L or A-L-L. E-L-L or A-L-L. It doesn't matter. One is past tense. Fell asleep is past tense and fall asleep is... Alright, good. Alright, number 9. If you are a little bit scared or nervous about something. Worried. Yes, worried or worry. Worry or worried is past tense, worried. Number 9. What is the opposite of thick? Thin. Good, thin. And last one, number 10. What is a box called where you keep a needle and a thread and scissors for sewing? Sewing box. How do you spell sewing? S-E-W-I-N-G. S-E-W. It's like sewing box, but you say sewing box. Sewing box. All right, excellent. I hope you did okay at home, like the 2 girls here did. Always 100. Good job. All right, you have some tape. Put it in your book. So today we are going to do a special review lesson for our wonderful students that are at home, in case they have missed one of our wonderful lessons over the past couple of weeks. So we are just going to do our review of Frog and Toad. So I'm going to give you a test paper with some questions, but first we are going to read the book. So if you are watching at home, please go and get your book and read. We will read the book together. All right, so when you're ready, girls, get your book and we will read the first 3 stories. The first 3 stories. All right, so what we'll do, 2 pages each, okay? 2 pages, 2 pages, 2 pages. All right, do you want to start, please? Go.
Spring. Frog ran up the path to the Toad's house. He knocked on the front door. There was no answer. Toad, Toad, shouted Frog. Wake up, it is spring. Ah, said the voice from inside the house. Toad, Toad, cried Frog. The sun is shining. The snow is melting. Wake up. I am not here. said the voice.
Excellent, good. All right. On to page 6.
Frog walked into the house. It was dark. All the shutters were closed. Toad, where are you? called Frog. Go away, said the voice from a corner of the room. Toad was lying in bed. He had pulled all the covers over his head. Frog pushed Toad out of bed. He pushed him out of the house and onto the front porch. Toad blinked in the bright sun. Help, said Toad. I cannot see anything.
Good. Page number 8 and 9. Don't be silly, said Frog. What you see is the clear, warm light of April. And it means that we can begin a whole new year together. Toad, think of it, said Frog. We will skip through the meadows, run through the woods, and swim in the river. In the evenings, we will sit right here on this front porch and count the stars. You can count them, Frog, said Toad. I will be too tired. I am going back to bed. Right. Next page.
Toad went back into the house. He got into the bed and pulled the covers over his head again. But Toad, cried Frog, you will miss all the fun. Listen, Frog, said Toad. How long have I been asleep? You have been asleep since November, said Frog. Well then, said Toad, a little more sleep will not hurt me. Come back again and wake me up at about May. Good night, Frog.
Excellent. Good. Next page, 12.
But Toad, said Frog, I will be lonely until then. Frog did not answer. He had fallen asleep. Frog looked at Toad's calendar. The November page was still on top. Frog tore off the November page. He tore off the December page, and January page, the February page, and the March page. He came to the April page. Frog tore off the April page too.
Excellent. Good. All right. Page 14. Then Frog ran back to Toad's bed. Toad, Toad, wake up. It is May now. What? Said Toad. Can it be May so soon? Yes, said Frog. Look at your calendar. Toad looked at the calendar. The May page was on top. Why, it is May, said Toad as he climbed out of bed. Then he and Frog ran outside to see how the world was looking in the spring. All right, that is first story called The Spring. All right, second story is called The Story. Good. All right, 2 pages each. Go.
One day in summer, Frog was not feeling well. Toad said, Frog, you're looking quite green. But I always look green, said Frog. I'm a frog. Today you look very green even for a frog, said Toad. Get into my bed and rest. Toad made Frog a cup of hot tea. Frog drank the tea, and then he said, tell me a story while I am resting.
Excellent. All right, page 18.
All right, said Toad. Let me think of a story to tell you. Toad thought and thought, but he could not think of a story to tell Frog. I'll go out on the front porch and walk up and down, said Toad. Perhaps that will help me to think of a story. Toad walked up and down on the porch for a long time, but he could not think of a story to tell Frog.
Excellent. Page 20. Then Toad went into the house and stood on his head. Why are you standing on your head? Asked Frog. I hope that if I stand on my head, it will help me to think of a story, said Toad. Next page. Toad stood on his head for a long time, but he could not think of a story to tell Frog. All right, page 22.
Then Toad poured a glass of water over his head. Why are you pouring water over your head? Asked Frog. I hope that if I pour water over my head, It will help me to think of a story, said Toad. Toad poured many glasses of water over his head, but he could not think of a story to tell Frog.
Excellent, good. All right, next page.
Then Toad began to bang his head against the wall. Why are you banging your head against that wall? asked Frog. I hope that if I bang my head against the wall hard enough, it will help me to think of a story, said Toad. I am feeling much better now, Toad, said Frog. I do not think I need a story anymore. Then you get out of bed and let me get into it, said Toad, because now I feel terrible. Frog said, would you like me to tell your story, Toad? Yes, said Toad, if you know one.
Excellent. All right, next page, 26. Once upon a time, said Frog, there were two good friends, a frog and a toad. The frog was not feeling well. He asked his friend the toad to tell him a story. The toad could not think of a story. He walked up and down on the porch, but he could not think of a story. He stood on his head, but he could not think of a story. He poured water over his head, but he could not think of a story. He banged his head against the wall, but he still could not think of a story. Then the toad did not feel so well, and the frog was feeling better. So the toad went to bed, and the frog got up and told him a story. The end. How was that, Toad? Said Frog. But Toad did not answer. He had fallen asleep. All right, very good. All right, let's do our last story. This one is called A Lost Button. Very good. All right, let's go. Page 28.
Toad and Frog went for a long walk. They walked across a large meadow. They walked in the woods. They walked along the river. At last, they went back home to Toad's house. Oh, drat, said Toad. Now only do my fat part. But I have lost one of the buttons on my jacket.
Good. Page 30.
Don't worry, said Toad. We'll go back to all the places where we walked. We will soon find your button. They walked back to the large meadow. They began to look for the button in the tall grass.
Good.
Here is your button, cried Frog. That is not my button, said Frog. That button is black. My button was white. Toad put the black button in his pocket.
Good. Page 32. A sparrow flew down. Excuse me, said the sparrow. Did you lose a button? I found one. That is not my button, said Toad. That button has 2 holes. My button had 4 holes. Toad put the button with 2 holes into his pocket. They went back to the woods and looked on the dark paths. Here is your button, said Frog. That is not my button, cried Toad. That button is small. My button was big. Toad put the small button in his pocket. Next page, 34.
A raccoon came out from behind a tree. I heard that you were looking for a button, he said. Here is one that I just found. That is not my button. Well, Toad, that button is square. My button was round. Toad put the square button in his pocket. Frog and Toad went back to the river. They looked for the button in the mud. Here is your button, said Frog. That is not my button, shouted Toad. That button is thin. My button was thick.
Excellent reading. Go.
Toad put the thin button in his pocket. He was very angry. He jumped up and down and screamed. The whole world is covered with buttons, and not one of them is mine. Toad ran home and slammed the door. There, on the floor, he saw his white 4-hole, big, round, fat button. Oh, said Toad, it was here all the time. What a lot of trouble I have made for Frog.
Excellent. Good reading. All right, page 38. Toad took all of the buttons out of his pocket. He took his sewing box down from the shelf. Toad sewed the buttons all over his jacket. The next day, Toad gave his jacket to Frog. Frog thought that it was beautiful. He put it on and jumped for joy. None of the buttons fell off. Toad had sewed them on very well. All right, that is our first 3 stories. So we had spring, the story, and a lost button. All right, now we're going to do a quiz, a test, a review test, okay? Review test. Reading, where's my reading book? Okay, here we go. I have so many papers. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, now if you are at home, you can write the questions down, or you can just write the answers. So I will tell you what the questions are, and then we can write the answer. All right, we're going to do it together. All right, so, can you read question number 1? This is about the story Spring. So question number 1 is?
Why did Toad not answer the door when Frog knocked?
All right, what was the story, the spring? The spring, what was that story?
Toad didn't get up. Frog wanted to wake up the two.
Yeah, so Toad was sleeping in his bed, and Frog wanted him to get up. So question number 1 was, why did Toad not answer the door when Frog knocked? Yes, Toad was sleeping. All right. So Toad did not answer the door. Toad did not answer the door because he was sleeping. All right, make sure you answer in full sentence. Question was, why did Toad not answer the door when Frog knocked? Toad did not answer the door because he was sleeping. All right, question number 2. Ellie, question 2.
Why did Frog want Toad to get up?
All right, question 2. Why did Frog want Toad to get up?
He was going to play.
Yes, Frog wanted Toad to get up. Frog wanted Toad to get up because he wanted to play. Right, so number 2, the question was, why did Frog want Toad to get up? Why did Frog want Toad to get up? Frog wanted Toad to get up because he wanted to play. Frog wanted to play. Frog is he. All right, number 3 question. Where's my marker? My markers are not working. All right, number 3 question is, how long had Toad been asleep? How long had he been asleep?
5 minutes.
Toad had been asleep since November.
All right, perfect. Make a full sentence. How long had Toad been asleep? Toad had been asleep. Excellent. Since November. since November. All right. Question 3 was, how long had Toad been asleep? Toad had been asleep since November. How do we know that Toad had been asleep since November? How do you know that?
Frog said that.
How did, yes, he knew that from the calendar. The calendar still said November. All right, question 4, last one for spring story. Question 4. What did Frog do to make Toad get out of bed? What did Frog do to make Toad get out of bed?
Tore calendar April page.
Okay, Frog tore off the calendar pages. Frog tore off the calendar pages. Till when? When did he stop?
To April. May.
Oh, yeah, he tore off April, so yeah, to May. Until May. So he stopped. So question number 4 was, what did Frog do to make Toad get out of bed? Frog tore off the calendar pages until May. All right, easy peasy, Japanesey. All right, everyone okay? All right, let's do number 5. Number 5 is about what story?
The story.
The story. The story. All right, what was the story? About?
Susan making a story for Frog.
Yes, why did he have to make a story?
Frog was sick.
Okay, all right, question number 5. This is about the story. What did Toad make for Frog because he was not feeling well? What did he make him? What?
Cup of hot tea.
Yes, he made a cup of hot tea. So question is,
Toad.
what did Toad make for Frog because he was not feeling well? Toad made, past tense, Toad made a,
Cup of tea.
good, Toad made a cup of hot tea. Toad made a cup of hot tea. Sorry, the lights are really bad here. There you go. Toad made a cup of hot tea. Question number 5 was, what did Toad make for Frog because he was not feeling well? Toad made a cup of hot tea. Question number 6. What were the 4 things Toad did to think of a story? What were the 4 things Toad did to think of a story?
He walked up and down in the front porch.
Okay, so Toad walked up and down. Toad walked up and down the front porch. Right, comma. Toad walked up and down the front porch. What did he do then?
He stood on his head.
He stood on his head. He stood on his head. So just remember the question was, what 4 things Toad did to think of a story?
He poured a glass of water.
Yes, he poured. It was more than one. So we can just say he poured water over his head. He poured water over his head. And what was the last thing that he did?
He banged his head against the wall.
Bang, bang, bang. Yes, he banged his head against the wall. And he... It's quite a long answer, isn't it? He banged his head against the wall. All right, let's just go over that one more time. Question number 6. What were the 4 things that Toad did to think of a story? Toad walked up and down the front porch. He stood on his head. He poured water over his head. And he banged his head against the wall. Excellent. Question number 7. I'm going to erase this because it's quite long. So question 7. All right, number 7. Question is, why didn't Frog need to hear a story anymore? Why he didn't need to hear a story?
Now he was feeling bad.
Good. Frog was feeling much better. So he didn't need a story. All right, question again was number 7. Why didn't Frog need to hear a story anymore? Frog was feeling much better, so he didn't need a story. All right, last one for the story. Question 8. How did Frog get his story idea to tell Toad at the end of the story? How did Frog get his idea to tell Toad at the end of the story? So Frog got his idea. Frog got his idea for a story. Frog got his idea for a story from Toad's what?
Acting?
Yes, from Toad's actions. So from Toad's actions. What Toad did. From what Toad did. That was walking up and down the path, standing on his head, pouring water over his head, and banging his head on the wall. All right, so Frog got his idea for a story from Toad's actions. All right, one more. A lost button. A lost button. All right, if you need to write these answers, just pause the video and then write. All right, question number 9. Question number 9. This is a lost button. A lost button. Question number 9. What did Toad lose?
He loses his button.
Toad lost his, what kind of button was it?
Jacket button.
Jacket button, good. Toad lost his jacket button. So question number 9 was for you at home. What did Toad lose? Toad lost, past tense, lost his jacket button. Toad lost his jacket button. All right, next page. Number 10, question number 10.
What did Toad's button look like?
Good, what did his button look like? Now we can just write what his button looked like, okay?
White.
All right, white. What else?
Thick.
Thick, good.
Round.
Round.
4 holes.
4 holes, and one more. What did Toad's button look like? It was white, it was thick, it was round, it had 4 holes, and it was big. And it was big. Excellent. So there are the 5 things. His button looked like it was white, thick, round, it had 4 holes, and it was big. It was big. Excellent. All right, 2 more questions. 2 more questions. 2 more questions. All right, question number 11. Where did Toad find his button?
In his house.
All right, make a full sentence. Toad found.
His button in his house.
Good. The question was, number 11, where did Toad find his button? Where did Toad find his button? Toad found his button where? Whereabouts in his house?
On the floor.
On the floor. Toad found his button on the floor of his house. Silly Toad, huh? Silly, silly Toad. So question number 11. Just one more time. Where did Toad find his button? Toad found his button on the floor of his house. All right, last question for reading for today. Number 12 question. What did Toad do after he found his button? And why did he do that? So what did he do after he found his button?
He sewed all the buttons.
Yes, he sewed all the buttons. He sewed all the buttons where?
On his jacket.
Yes, excellent. On his jacket. On his jacket. All right, this one has two questions. So the first one was, what did Toad do after he found his button? What did he do after he found his button? He sewed all the buttons on his jacket. And the second part is, why did he do that? Why did Toad sew all the buttons on his jacket? Why?
To give Frog.
Yes, he wanted to give his jacket to Frog. He wanted to give his jacket to Frog. So why did he sew all the buttons on his jacket? He wanted to give his jacket to Frog. Why did he want to give his jacket to Frog? Why did he do that?
Sorry.
Sorry for what?
For shouting and acting.
And one more thing. What did Toad make Frog go and do with him? He made him do something. Yes. Yeah, he made him, he didn't make him, but he wanted him to help him to find his button all over the place. But his button was at home. So Toad felt really bad that Frog had to go out and look for his button. So that's why he gave him his jacket. All right, that is it for reading for today. So today was our 2A reading class. We just had a review. We had some questions and we read the book, Frog and Toad Are Friends. So that's all we have time for today. Until we see you again. Bye for now.
Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. SSET Englishtown.